radio. Shout it.
My question is this though: what is it that's in those people that causes them to be super successful and others not?
Well, I mean, genuinely, it's just all about your passion, and like the little homie said, rest in peace, my boy Nip. It's about like really not giving up.
Yeah.
Because you can have certain situations that'll happen in a couple of days, and other ones that'll take a couple of years or multiple years. You know what I'm saying? Or 5 years. So it just really depends on what it is. I'll tell people all the time, like, I mean, you can be B-Rock in the biz, or you can be Usher. Yeah. They both got signed to the face at the same time.
Damn.
So, a lot of people don't even know who be rocking the biz.
Yeah, is that I
we
know.
do.
Is that we know? But when you put it like that, I'm here with you though. I'm here with you.
So it's just about, because once I don't think they can say on paper, hey, this guy's better than this guy in your paperwork. They sign you to a record deal the same as everybody else. Way. So it's just about whether you have music that represents longevity or you have music that can be looked at as novelty. So if you have an artist or maybe someone who can transition, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who can actually maybe come out a certain type of way and build into another type of way. I always say the 3000 method. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because 3000, I think a lot of times people kind of misinterpret what happened. You know what I mean? Because they still think of music as like, oh, when you do music, music is an art form.
Exactly.
And when you're an artist, you have different emotions, different feelings, and different things that come about in your music. When you're in the hood, in the ghetto, and you're doing music, you're doing that type of music because that's where you're at.
Yeah.
The minute you leave those type of places and see and do other things, your vibes change because now you're among different things. So to think you're going to put out the same music that you put out when you was broke,
exactly.
Boy, stop. It's not going to happen.
Okay, you mentioned Nipsey earlier, man, and I was on FX and I'm trying to watch Hip Hop Uncovered, and I seen Poon Daddy pop out of no damn well on my TV screen, man. I mean, talk to me about that and how you just go bust that cameo out on us out of nowhere.
Well, that's a project that I have been working on with my uncle, what I'm saying, Big U, for a few years along with him and Doe. We talked about it years ago when they first came to him initially.
Yeah.
And that's what the original documentary was supposed to be, pretty much just on Big U. And he transitioned to make it to where it made sense for any and everybody across the world who's seen it.
That's true.
So that's why he went and got Deborah, Trick Trick, and Haitian Jack, and Bimmy, and really made it like a standhold. Now this thing is
hard
in history. You know what I'm saying? So but as far as Nip, I've been knowing Nip for a long time, and we really connected probably maybe when he was like, I want to say like a sophomore, junior in high school.
Yeah.
Me and my cousin Bear Claw, this is all pre-Poon Daddy stuff, like in LA. But me and my cousin Bear Claw had a studio, and I helped him put out a couple of mixtapes. When I first moved back to LA, when me and Chris kind of really formulated there and did some stuff, we had a condo, and then we had a little film company that we started or whatever. So I was there, and I was able to go back home to my roots, to my homies, and really tap in. So when I tapped in with Cuzzo, we put together this claustrophobic mixtape, and I had Bobby on it, I had 3-6 Mafia on it, Jagged Edge, Young Bloods. I really brought, some Atlanta flavor, to LA. You know what I'm saying? So the tape really did well. Corrupt was on it. Who else? CJ Mack. Couple of my homeboys from my neighborhood, so that right there kind of brought Nipsey into the fold. And he was one of the younger guys that wanted to be on the project. And one of my younger homeboys, Tiny Draws, TD, he asked me, like, could he get on the tape? And I'm like, well, shit, let's see what's up.
Name Tiny Draws?
Yeah. So Big U's other name is Draws.
Okay.
So he has two hoods from the name.
Yeah.
Two names from the hood, because that's just the type of force he is.
Yeah.
So Big U's other real name that he had younger was Big Draws, because he was a big statued young dude.
Yeah.
So when you came up on him, you might have thought he was like young or whatever, but when you got close up on him, you realized his statuus was just huge. So the homies used to be like, that's Big Draw, like he big, you feel me? Yeah. And when he punch you, he can knock a grown man out at like 15, 16. He was knocking out 30, 40-year-old men. So this is me, like as a kid, like a young kid watching this, and this is how he got his rep because his hands were so lethal. So niggas had to respect big draws when they seen him, enemies, whoever. So this is kind of where that all necessarily formulated from. So tiny draws is tiny homeboys. Like 4 removed. That's tiny. It's little baby tiny. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So tiny draws asked me could he get on the tape. And Bear Claw was like, yeah, I mean, whatever you think. I was like, yeah, run it. So he did this song, and the song was just so heartfelt. It was young Nip, but you hear all the stuff that you hear now, just his whole flow, the slow. It just, you kind of knew it was something. For me, it kind of happened for me later. But what connected us is that me and his brother grew up together, Sam.
Okay. So
Sam was a hustler, period. I met Sam elementary school. People used to like bag on him. This from Ethiopia or whatever, try to downgrade him or whatever. Sam would leave school early and go to the block, and he not even from 60s, and sell mixtapes, incense, licorice, candy, whatever in school. Like what he had it. Yeah. Like Sam had whatever you need, he had it. So for me, as a young kid, like to see this kid that's my age, 7 or 8, 9, 10, that's already making money.
Yeah.
Like for real, I'm not bullshitting. Like Sam was hustling to the point by the time we got in high school, he was only going to school half the day because he was leaving to go get on his hustle. Yeah. And at this point, Sam had like 2, 3 younger people working for him. Then he went from like the incense to the mixtapes to the, then they start having like the CDs and they had it popping. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So this is how that whole situation with Nip that you see formulating with him and the T-shirts and all that, because Sam has always been a hustler. So they've always had money, and they always knew that they were going to be entrepreneurs. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because in Ethiopia, they don't grow up in thinking they're going to work for somebody else. They grow up thinking they're going to create something for themselves and their family. That's because they believe in wealth amongst their all, which we don't. You know what I'm saying? We'll be quick, fast to be like, let me go get a job for somebody else, as opposed to being able to be your own light and be an alliance to somebody else and create your own stuff and put your own people on. And now, guess what? You got 2, 3 different people making a certain amount of money, which makes you powerful. Yep. So instead of me putting you on, you put yourself on. I gave you the information of the game or whatever, and you was able to create forever.
When Nip blew up and then he passed, man, how did that impact you? And I mean, just being from, LA and stuff like that, how did that impact the community? Because that messed everybody up.
Well, I mean, it was heartbreaking, dog. I mean, it's still something that we think about and we just say, damn, it's fucked up. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think in some type of way, it was probably something, that I'm saying, that I seen that really kind of tapped in with people's hearts and understanding about everybody not being the same, because Nipsey was not your everyday gangbanger. He wasn't even an everyday person that you would see from my neighborhood. Yeah. His light was so powerful, his inspirational, because he really wanted and meant something more than just a street or the streets. You know what I'm saying? This kid was phenomenal. Just how his whole brain worked, what he thought about, the things he wanted to do. It was something that even somebody that I feel like was tapped in and thought about certain things, he went and therefore even deeper. And I remember having conversations about him. We used to talk about Black Wall Street all the time because Nipsey's, that's the other thing I was gonna say, majority of Nipsey's production is done by these guys called 1500 or Nothing. Now there's some producers from LA, and it's like maybe like 7 of them, 8 of them, but between the main 4, they got like 27 Grammys in the last 5 years. Yeah. So from like Adele, Bruno Mars, Nipsey, Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, T.I., like these are just a majority of like some of the people that they work with. But these were Nipsey's main producers. So he would be at the studio with them, I would be at the studio with them. So we would see each other, we would talk, and we would build. And this is what made me my whole connection with him become stronger, because I seen it was way more about the music. I mean, way more than just about the music. It was really just about him being able to start something and become something, so that other people that come from where he come from can see that it's so much more than just selling dope, hustling, gangbanging. Like he was really trying to be, iconic in that form culturally. You know what I'm saying?
What stresses me out about that is because I totally understand where you're coming from, but what's also just wears me out is he goes off to do all of that to still wind up in the same place.
Yeah.
How do we solve that?
Well, one thing I can say about people from Los Angeles is that regardless of what people might really think or feel, we love where we from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So even me saying that, like, as long as I was here and as much as it was a great time, after a while, I wanted to really go home. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see some people that I went to school with. I wanted to see some family members. Like, I got family here. I got people here. And I got people that have become family here. But at the end of the day, you kind of really want to sometimes see people that you have, real old school connection from when you were younger and stuff. And I didn't really have that here because I didn't get here officially till college. You know what I'm saying? So I'm somebody that understands that, but one thing I do understand about Los Angeles and especially about the neighborhood that we're from is that, A, it's one of the biggest neighborhoods on the surface of Los Angeles. So you have literally some people that might be from this neighborhood that never seen some other people from the hood unless it's a function, something going on, because in the 60s, especially, there's no one leader.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many different streets and you got maybe like a 2 to 3.5 mile radius of the neighborhood. Like usually there's neighborhoods not that big.
Yeah.
And that's just going on the front part. You might have another 3 miles going that way.
Yeah.
So it's a long stretch for a hood and for people to get along. But in anything, man, it's a situation where the people not being able to understand certain things about people's growth, as just as human beings, sometimes can come off as like detrimental. Because if I'm someone that doesn't understand about being able to build and become something huge and large, somebody that's up under me or that I came up under might take certain things that can really help way more than just us as a staff because of what they are going through personally. You know what I'm saying? And again, coming from where we come from, like, it's messed up. Like it's really a breakdown. But again, we don't have counselors in the hood. We don't have people that can help people that need extra help because they might have mental illness or they might, be some type of special needs. We don't have anybody to do that.
Yeah.
That they'll maybe put them in some classes in certain type of areas, but unless they're really, really traumatically show indications, they don't do something for the people that have maybe 30% or 20% or, that's functional.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Exactly.
It still needs to be helped. So therefore, you don't never know.
Yeah.
So to me, in certain situations like that, and the sad thing about it is that, bro, my cousin is rest in peace from the same hood that I'm from and Nip was from. He died from one of my homies in 96.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? In front of everybody.
Yeah.
So this is not new.
Nah, it ain't new.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not new on a big part, just in people being upset about certain people's, blow up or evolvement or however you want to look at it. So it's so sickening just in the urban communities of jealousy and just irate of people being sustainable, not being able to understand. You know what I mean? Because I really think a lot of times if someone being jealous, it's a point in that. Unless you're just a poor Blair hater. But you know what I'm saying? Usually it's somebody not really gathering and getting all the information to be able to make the right, pick on what's going on.